The return of the Chapter 1 map is something that has always sparked discussion. Some casual players who don't play Fortnite anymore claim that they would come back just for the old map. Some players who still play Fortnite claim that the newer maps are just better, and the OG map is only liked because of nostalgia.
You know, it's like I can smell the nostalgia!
But there's also a third category of people that sit in the middle in a way, where they're happy with the game's current state, but think it would be fun to see the OG map for a little bit, and I think I sit in that category. But after having places like the Grotto, the Agency, Lazy Lake, Brutal Bastion, Slappy Shores, Mega City, and the 3 new heist POIs, kinda leans towards the argument that the newer maps are better. Because I'll tell you right now, Mega City is the better city map compared to Tilted Towers. Objectively, there are more buildings, there are more ways to navigate up the buildings around the city, which begs the question, why does the community want the OG map despite the newer maps having more variety? Because people in general gravitate towards familiarity. Because the reality is the OG season is only going to be back for a month long, and I'm sure a lot of people, new and old, are going to go check out this update. But when it's over, are people going to stay when Chapter 5 starts? There's only one way to find out, obviously. Another point that I don't see as often, but is definitely worth noting, is the fact that the Chapter 1 map was more in tune with the game's original feel and concept. But to throw Epic a bone, I can see why they wanted a fresh start with Chapter 2 and so on. 10 seasons on the same map would have felt a bit repetitive, and even with the map evolving with changes mostly bad when it came to Season X, I don't blame them when it comes to that. I think that's a big thing that Chapter 1 had. The map changed pretty much every season, and sure, some locations like Anarchy Acres, Moisty Mire, and Lazy Links got entirely replaced by new biomes or locations, but most of the POIs stayed, and they stayed till the very end of the chapter. It had more time to simmer and develop. The other chapters kind of struggled in this department. Some places got the boot in place of new POIs, and this would just happen on a seasonal basis, which made for a map that was ever changing, not in a way where it develops, but just constantly getting a new identity. Season X suffered from this in a different way. Instead of removing places, they made it to where you didn't even want to land in certain places because you had these unnecessary gimmicks at multiple POIs that made playing the game feel like shit. Epic was out of their damn mind when they made these additions. If you want to base your season around the idea of chaos and randomness, then you do that in other aspects like the loot pool, the items, the storm, the layout of the map, the pacing, the mobility. You don't make POIs basically go, okay, so at this POI, you start random dancing. If you do this at this POI, then this happens to you. If you breathe at this POI, you explode and fucking die. This season pissed me off. When we left the island, I was like, good riddance. But Epic Games isn't stupid. Kinda. They're choosing seasons 5 through 10 as the seasons to go back to. I know that people would have preferred to see seasons 1 through 5, but I think it was a good choice to start at season 5 instead. Seasons 4 and 5 being the only seasons out of the 5 that had big map changes, with the divot and multiple mini divots scattered throughout the map, and risky reels, and obviously Lazy Links, Viking Village, and Paradise Palms for season 5. So going into the OG season with season 1 would have been a bit underwhelming, because that first week of Fortnite OG is everything. That's where the majority of the players are going to be, and as much as I love the first week of Season 4 with Hop Rocks everywhere, I can't help but respect Epic for choosing the seasons that objectively have more to work with. And as controversial as these seasons could be, I think it's a way for Epic to somewhat fix the mistakes that these seasons had. Maybe instead of the mechs destroying 17 planets in 3 seconds, maybe Epic will only have them destroy 15 planets in 3 seconds.
What? It's invisible!
It is November 3rd during the time of writing this part of the script. Season OG has dropped, and I'm currently out of state for a week, which is very painful. But from what I've seen, people like it, you know? It could just be Fortnite content creators being like, Fortnite is saved! Watch my channel, please! The gameplay that I've seen so far shows that the newer up-to-date gun models, sound effects, and animations are used, rather than the OG ones that everyone's been wanting, and while I can see the desire to want these older staples during the OG season, I kinda like the option that they chose instead. To me, it feels like a more updated take on the older map. There is one change though that is very pointless. They got rid of Big Bertha and replaced it with a little baby building. Big Bertha was one of the first things people think of when they think of Tilted Towers, aside from the clock tower. I don't see any good reason to do this. Epic Games, You stupid. I've seen people saying that they want the OG map to stay as a permanent game mode, and to be honest, I did feel that too for about a week, especially from the fact that Fortnite broke their daily player base count with 44 million people, and that they'd be a donkey company if they made it for only a month. But at that point, if they made it a permanent thing, the OG map would lose its novelty. And I've seen people give solutions of how to still give priority to the new maps while keeping the OG map around, such as only making it Team Rumble, only doing this, only doing that. But me has a solution answer. Every year on Fortnite Battle Royale's anniversary, they put cake around the map and change the battle bus and its music, and maybe you earn a back bling that has a number on it, but that's about it. But I feel like it'd be very wholesome and chill if they brought the OG map during Fortnite's birthday week, because it makes sense since it celebrates the roots of Fortnite, but it's still limited to retain that novelty, and we as a community can still move on and think about the future. The map in Chapter 1, it was more than a simple collection of places. It was the cradle of many memories, and the arena for titanic conflicts, and the backdrop for the Fortnite phenomenon. Not only was the Chapter 1 map a place of combat, but it was also a wholesome place for the community. In order for us to continue, we must move on and look to the future. Anyways, please press that red subscribe button. Look at all this stuff flying on the screen. It's telling you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, fly away today.